All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. We get together most weekday mornings at this time, 8 o'clock Central, to talk about strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and support each of you. We've made some specific and very powerful iterations, or we've evolved to best, I believe, to best meet the current marketplace. So over the past couple of days, we've been focusing on the free entrepreneurship funding program. When I say free, it's free. And that is a great resource for prospective participants to become educated in a safe environment. They're not being sold anything. They're getting good, relevant information so they know how to have a fundable business. And from that, they can either implement the knowledge that they have on their own, or they can work with us. And so how they would work with us as a subsequent step would typically be through the 4-week business funding program here. So with that, we also wanted to improve our relationship with our distribution partners, many of you. We wanted to position you to have more control and more profitability. And so that's what we're doing. So I'm here to explain this. Doesn't cost you anything, so I'm not trying to sell you anything directly or indirectly. I just want you to know that if you are an affiliate, you now have the option at no cost to be a white label partner. And that may not make sense, and that's why we're here today is to discuss it. So again, no strings attached. If you're an affiliate, you can opt in to be a white label partner. We have a separate agreement, but you're not paying for that. It's just a separate agreement because the role is different, which I'll be discussing. There are several benefits of being a white label partner over being just a normal affiliate. Again, the affiliate role is fine. If all you want to do is refer in and get paid, that's fine. But many of you want more than that. And I see that in how you act and how you behave. And that's not negative. It's just many of you are not satisfied just being an affiliate and getting paid. You want more involvement. Perfect. So this is how we can get you more involved. Before I continue, being a white label partner does not mean that you have to do the work. So we're kind of your back office, your back room, your administrative team. We're going to take the clients through the program. We're going to do the work. You're the boss and we're the workers in the WLP model. So don't feel like, oh, this would never work for me because it's going to require too much time or too much effort. We're doing the implementation either way. So let's go ahead and talk about the benefits. At any point, if you have a question, comment, concern, feel free to type it into the Q&A and we'll address it. Okay, benefit number one, I've covered that again, but there's no cost. There's no cost. So it's not a buy-up. It was originally developed, I'll be honest with you, it was originally developed to be a revenue stream for us because of the extra time and effort and expense of supporting white label partners. But we're doing so well, we're growing so quickly, cash flow is good. We don't need revenue from our distribution partners, so it is no cost, but that's simple enough. Let's not spend more time on it. The second one is huge strategically, because if you're a white label partner, when you're going out and marketing, whether it be the educational platform or what we'll call the implementation here, where you monetize it through the 4-week, if you're a white label partner, you're marketing it under your branding, not under ours. So if you don't have a brand, what does a brand mean? It means under your business, right? Because maybe you have clients and they understand you and they trust you, but some third party with a third party name they don't know, they don't trust. Or maybe you have other services that you're using this as a way to attract clients for. We have some of you that are accountants, some attorneys, some insurance agents, some tax preparers, some credit repair professionals. So again, instead of you being an affiliate and working for someone else, a white label partner is working for themselves. So it's much more consistent with the concept of being an entrepreneur, quite frankly. I would say being an affiliate, you make money, but it's not really an entrepreneurial fit. But if you have an entrepreneurial mindset, marketing under your own branding. Now, we provide the materials and that we'll talk to you about that in a moment, but this is a big deal. So if you're a white label partner, you're going out under your branding, not ours. Hopefully that's clear. If not, if there's any questions, comments, concerns, just put it into the Q&A. It's like a chat box of Zoom. The third is a big one. Well, I think all these are big, but the third one's significant. I wholeheartedly believe that our best model of attracting clients is not to sell anyone anything, but instead educate them. Because once someone's educated about what a fundable business really is and the benefits of a fundable business, you'll be able to enroll more clients than you can keep up with. So I think what's happened is some of you, you're very talented, but you sell, or it feels like a sales transaction, and people aren't necessarily receptive to that. So I won't go back and revisit all the trainings we've had this week, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of this week, we've had separate trainings where we've been talking about leading with that free educational curriculum. If you're not familiar with that, then you may want to go back and view the prior trainings or give us a call. So what are we saying here? And I'm going to elaborate more on all of this, but essentially we want to work very closely with our white label partners to create an immense pipeline, and that pipeline comes from doing workshops. But we're going to drill into each of these here in a minute. You get to set the client pricing. So you could never come back and say, oh, it's too expensive. Or you could never come back and say, oh, it's too cheap. I'm not making enough money. If you're a white label partner, you pick the pricing. The only person you could complain to is you. Look in the mirror and complain to yourself, because as a white label partner, you control the pricing. All right, so let's go ahead and drill down into each of these, because I have some discussion points that I want to make sure that we cover adequately. So what does it mean? How does it work when we talk about marketing under your branding? So if you decide that you want to opt in to the white label partner role, which costs how much? Nothing. It's free, no cost. Then you'll either let Charlotte, the affiliate manager, or me know. Probably best to let Charlotte know. She has more bandwidth. And then she's going to send you the white label partner license agreement with fee waiver. Because normally we were at a charge for it. Understand that, but we're waiving that for you. So once you've done that, then you're going to get an onboarding email. And that onboarding email includes a number of things, including this number one. We're going to send you an editable client agreement. You might say, whoa, why do I need that? Well, it's because you're going out under your branding, and if you're a white label partner, you're getting the client to sign the contract. So no more, we got DeMar on here who's awesome, but he's referring in a lot of people. So he's actively asking, what's the status? What's the status? What's the status? Well, as an affiliate, really, that's not what the feedback affiliates normally get, but we want to accommodate DeMar and everyone else. But that's a sign or an illustration that some of you are really better suited to be a white label partner. And I believe DeMar enrolled overnight as a white label partner. But regardless, we provide you the editable agreement. What are you going to do with that? It's in a Word format. So what are you going to do? You're going to take off our information. Well, why would you do that? Because you're branding under yourself, right? And if it has our information, that's not yourself. So it's an editable Word document. You'll remove our information. And what are you going to put in instead? Your information, right? Simple enough. And then also you can change the refundable deposit. So for the 4-week business, so you have to be crystal clear that we have the free educational campaign, which is different than this fee-based implementation, right? So don't confuse it. I had a client yesterday said, oh, I signed up for the 4-week business funding program, and I heard it's free now. No, it's not free. It's a refundable deposit, but we can't do all this for free. The grant doesn't advance us enough money to do all this for free. So my digression there was just to clarify that you understand the educational part's free for those that progress into what we'll call the implementation here. They sign a contract, of course, because good business is to have a written contract, right? Because a written contract explains what everyone's roles and responsibilities are. You don't need to make any changes to that. But what you will change is your information, which we've covered, and you can change the refundable deposit if you want. So normally, and frankly, we'll just click on this. If we click on this, which is the link, this is our version, not your version, right? You'll have an editable version, and it will talk about $1,000 price point right there. I can't highlight a $1,000 price point. So what would you do? Oh, we lost the notes, didn't we? If you want to make money off the front end, then you would change that. Most of you seem to be changing it to 2,000. Why? Because we're doing a 50-50 split. So now you're making 1,000 and we're making 1,000. Now, some of you said, well, why don't we split at 1,000? Because we'd lose money. We want to help people. We're driven by our mission, but we can't afford to lose a little bit of money on every client and make it up with volume, right? That doesn't work. So we have to have 1,000 for our end to cover our costs. Now, it's still refundable to the client, but you could increase that amount. And so if you increased it to 2,000, we're doing a 50-50 split under the white label partner role. What does that mean? Every time a client signs up, you're putting 1,000 in your pocket. Now, the argument that you could make is, well, that seems fair. I mean, we're providing a lot of value. It is refundable to the client, so that's okay. But what if they don't have 2,000? Now we got a problem. So in economics, there's a term called price elasticity. And so do people that have 1,000 typically have 2,000? But typically people that don't have 2,000, they probably don't have 1,000. Maybe you agree with that, maybe not. But the bottom line is, well, you control the pricing. You can make the price whatever you want. Maybe you want to move some of this and defer it. Maybe you want to set up financing. That's up to you. It's your contract, isn't it? It's your contract, your agreement. But what do we know? We can't afford. We love you and we love them, but we can't afford to lose money on every client. We can't. We'll go out of business. Then we couldn't help anyone. So we have to have at least 1,000 for our part. The point is, you can change the pricing to whatever you want. We can keep it a refundable deposit up to 2,000, and we need at least 1,000 to cover our costs. Okay, Fredericks asking a good question. So, and he's exactly right. So let's go back. So market under your branding. And what that means is we're going to provide you an editable client agreement, and that's in Microsoft Word. You're going to change that, which we've covered, but Frederick's thinking ahead, and it's exactly right. So then you'll need to have it in some format for a client to sign, typically Adobe or DocuSign. You can use whatever e-signature software that you want. Doesn't matter to us. We use FormStack. It's a little more complicated. Whatever you want. Whatever you want. Now, I'm going to say this, and this is going to hurt some feelings. So I'll apologize in advance, but I think I do you the best service by being very direct. I've talked to some of you, and you have no freaking idea how to set up DocuSign or Adobe. It seems like a foreign language to you, which foreign languages are hard for me. I only speak English. But the point is, if you can't either yourself or someone that can help you get this part done and get it into DocuSign or Adobe, you shouldn't be running your own business. You shouldn't be running a white label partner business, at least. So you can get someone from Upwork, you can get someone from your work, you can get someone from church, friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, I don't know. But if you, because it's so basic skills, if you cannot handle editing a Word document, and if you cannot handle getting it into e-signature software, you probably should not be a white label partner. Sorry for saying that, but there we go. But Frederick's question is essentially, which e-signature software should he use? Hey, whatever you want. DocuSign, Adobe. We started out using DocuSign. DocuSign will do some things free, but the problem is when you get into high volume. When you get into high volume, most of these companies will charge you. And that's okay, right? Businesses have expenses, and your white label partnership should be very profitable. But I can tell you, our last month using DocuSign, We were doing so many deals. Our 1 month bill was $14,000. I don't want to spend $14,000 a month on e-signature software. So it's up to you. You can start with something, change later, but it's up to you. Okay, so I think we've covered that adequately. All right, so we're going to also provide you editable materials, and a great example is the press release, which we just covered yesterday, right? Yesterday's presentation was on the press release. So, well, got rid of that, didn't I? So the press release, same concept. What are you going to do? You're going to remove our information and put yours on. This is great to go develop strategic relationships with. As we talked about yesterday, white label partners tend to be more sophisticated than affiliates. And that's not a knock against anyone. It's just a fair assessment. So people that own sports teams are often more business minded than the athletes themselves. Doesn't mean the athlete couldn't own a team. So what I'm saying here is white label partners are looking for volume. And volume is rarely obtained by working with an infinite number of individuals. You'll just wear yourself out if you have to go out and talk to lots and lots and lots of people. There's just not enough time in the day. So what white label partners do is they focus on key influencers. Like I had a gentleman yesterday call, and he is the president of an African American Chamber of Commerce. Hopefully I'm getting this right. It was a brief call as I was walking out the door. So, he's very interested. So he's an example of someone that would be a magnificent strategic partner to work with because he has an organization, he has a sphere of influence. We get him on board and then he can push it out to volumes of people. So that's how white label partners think. Sure, white label partners will still sign up or will still market to individuals if they want, but that's not where wealth is created. You'll never create volume by just onesie. You'd have to spend so much time and energy to get lots of individuals. But when we're talking about key influencers, now we can attract people by the dozen, by the 100, or even possibly by the thousands, depending upon their sphere of influence. So again, we'll support you in that. But you're going out under your branding, right? We already said that. So you're starting to see that maybe the white label partner is a bigger difference than the affiliate than you first thought. And at some point, you just have to be honest with yourself and say, am I the right fit? Because our white label partners, it's not as if they have to work harder or longer than affiliates. They just have a much stronger economic engine, but they need to have additional capabilities. All right, so let's move on. So talking about workshops here, so number 3 ties to this. We believe that most small businesses want and need capital. Not all, but most do. Most do not know what it takes to be fundable, and that's a shame. It's a shame to our educational system. It's a shame to our society that we teach people to get jobs. We don't teach people how to create jobs. We don't really adequately teach people how to run businesses. So most people don't know what you know. And once you accept that, you have a certain obligation, I think, to help people know what you know. There's a formula for funding, right? There's a process we go through to have a fundable business. And that's what we teach and that's what we do. What we're talking about here is we encourage you, if you're going to be a white label partner, to lead with financial literacy. You don't have to. And that doesn't mean you can't just go and roll someone straight in. But the financial literacy curriculum that we've been talking about this week is invaluable. So that's called our free entrepreneurship funding programs. Now you might be thinking, well, wait, how does that work if I'm a white label partner? Am I cut out of this? No, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. So what we'll, I should say that having people run through the funding program before you ask them for the fee-based program is good because it educates them and then they trust. Because do you think people normally are going to send money to someone that they don't trust? Probably not. Are they going to send money to someone that they don't understand what it's for? Not very often. That's why if we start with financial literacy, we're averaging over a 90% conversion. All right, so the point is, if you want to be a white label partner, again, it's at no cost, so I'm not trying to sell you anything. one of the things that we do for our white label partners that we don't do for our affiliates is set up workshops. So like yesterday, and Frederick, I think, was the one that asked it yesterday. So we can set up workshops. And what is a workshop? A workshop is the 4-session curriculum here. So when I say workshop, it means this. It's 4 pieces where we talk about different topics each week for 4 weeks, 100% free. My point is this, is if you're a white label partner, we will work with you in setting those up. Whether you want to have just your own freestanding, or if we want to start developing some with key influencers. That may be a little too much too fast for you, but the point is we'll help you with the workshops, no cost. We'll teach the workshops for you at no cost because we all win. That's the beauty of the white label partnership. It's a 50-50 split. There's no winners, there's no losers. We're all in it together. Fourthly, you control client pricing. I think I've already said it's normally a 50-50 split. So if you charge $2,000 as they enroll in the 4-week business funding program, you net $1,000, we net $1,000. Is that fair? I think it's fair. We're doing all the work. You brought the client, and it's refundable to the client. We have to have at least $1,000 to cover our cost, and then you can determine what the back-end performance fee is, as we've talked about. So let's summarize it. So in summary, affiliates can now opt in to be a white label partner at no cost. There are many benefits which we've highlighted. And of course, you have our phone number here. So main number. Questions, comments, concerns. We're crazy busy here at the end of the month, so I'm going to need to go get to work. We got a lot of deals to process. If you need help, let us know. If you have questions, let us know. If you're an affiliate, Charlotte's normally your first point of contact, but you can feel free to call us as well. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye.